Question 9 says find the root of the quadratic equation 3m squared minus 2m minus 65 equals 0. So we have 3m squared minus 2m minus 65 equals 0. And we know when the coefficient of m squared is not 1, you have to multiply this value, the coefficient number in front of m squared, by the constant, which is minus 65, before we can solve further. We know when the coefficient of m squared is not 1, we have to multiply it by the constant, which is minus 65, before we can solve. So we have 3 times minus 65, it will give us minus 195. We look for two numbers that will multiply to give us minus 195, yet when we add them, it gives us minus 2m. This minus 2m is telling us that the difference between the two numbers should be 2, yet the negative sign also tells us that the bigger number should own the negative, because when you add the two numbers together, we should get a negative 2. So for us to find the two numbers, we can do it with a shortcut. This 65, we can break it down into two numbers that will give us 65. That will be 5 times 13 will give us 65. Then we'll still have this 3 times. This is a shortcut to doing it, so we know. Let's just see how we can combine this. We can do 3 times 5, that's 15 and 13. So we have 15 times 13 will give us 195, and the difference between these two numbers is 2. These are the right values, because we know other numbers can multiply themselves to give us 195. So we can do 5 times 13, the result times 3 will give us 195. But the difference between the two numbers will be larger than this minus 2, but the closest is this. So we have 15 and 13, and one of them will have to carry a negative because it's negative 195. We would have to give the bigger number the negative because the coefficient of m is minus 2. So we have minus 15 and 13, minus 15 comma 13. So when we multiply these two digits, they give us minus 195, and when we add them together, it's like you're owing 15 and you're having 13. By the time you pay back, you still be owing 2. That's where we have this minus 2m. We have to put into consideration the negative sign in front of the coefficient of m. That's in front of the number in front of m, which is this minus 2. Once we've done this, we can write our equation 3m squared minus 2m minus 65 equals 0. What we've done so far is to replace this minus 2m with this minus 15 and 13, putting m behind each of them. So we have 3m squared minus 15m plus 13m minus 65 equals 0. We take them in twos with the signs in front of them. So we have 3m squared minus 15m. What's common in both of them? 3 is here. You can find 3 in 15. You have m. We have m here, and m is also in 15. So what's common is 3m. We'll leave in bracket. We're just saying 3m squared divided by 3m. We have 3m squared divided by 3m. The 3's will cancel. The m will cancel one of the m's. So we are left with 1m here minus 15m divided by 3m. The m's will cancel out. 3 here, 1, 3 in 15, 5 minus 5. We go to the second sets of numbers. We go to the second set. So we have minus 13m minus 65. 13 is in 13. You can get 13 out of 13 and you can get 13 out of 65. So we get plus 13, that is common. We can then say plus 13m divided by 13. 13 cancels 13, you'll be left with m. So we have m minus, now minus 65 or 65, since we put the minus here, divided by 13 will be 5 equals 0. Sometimes when you're solving quadratic equations and you have your first value and you're sure of what is inside the bracket, just pick out what's common and just repeat this to save time, because the essence of quadratic equations is to make sure these two are the same. So since they are identical or they are the same, that means we're on the right path. We'll take one of them out. We have m minus 5 in bracket, and we have what is left. We have 3m plus 13. 3m plus 13 equals 0. m minus 5 equals 0, or 3m plus 13 equals 0. M equals, you take out minus 5, it becomes plus 5. That's m equals 5, or 3m equals plus 13 goes out, it becomes minus 13. We have m equals minus 13. We divide both sides by 3. So we have these 3 cancels out. So we have our answer as minus 13 over 3. I'll write the negative in front. So we have minus 13 over 3, comma 5. So those are the two values. Our answer is therefore C.